The Voice for Baloch Missing Persons has recorded more than 1,020 cases of dumped bodies and asserts that there are many more it has not been able to document. Despite these well-documented instances, Pakistani's government is trying its best to sweep these gross human rights violations just under the carpet. This can be gauged from the fact that on December 19, 2016, the chairman of Commission of Inquiry on Enforced Disappearances told a Senate Standing Committee that only 96 people were missing in Balochistan and the matters had been politicized. Baloch human rights campaigners have also spoken of how Pakistan threatens to change the demography of Balochistan and reduce the Baloch people to minority in their homeland. It is the same situation like was in Poland in 19th century. We have the same kind of problem, and I really realize what does it mean.
Balochistan is being killed by 1,000 cuts. A slow-motion genocide is taking place while the world watches with their lips sealed and its arms locked up in restraint. However, let me assure you, do not underestimate the resilience of the Baloch people. We will not give up our fight for our own homeland, stolen from us barely 9 months after we won our freedom from the British colonial rule on the 11th of August 1947. For brief perspective, Balochistan was fully independent under Baloch rule until the British, stung by its failures in Afghanistan, decided to take it out on our Balochistan by attacking and occupying the Baloch state of Kalat on November 13, 1839. And then on February 17, 1843, when the Talpur Baloch rulers were defeated in the battlefield of Miani in Sindh. After a century under nominal British rule, Balochistan was given independence as a sovereign country on 11th August 1947 for 227 days before it was invaded by Pakistani military on the 27th of March 1948. The official declaration of independence of Kalat state was announced on 11th August 1947 and broadcast by All India Radio, and it came into effect on the 12th of August after formal declaration by Mir Ahmad Yar Khan, the Khan of Kalat. The Khan affirmed his intention to build Balochistan as a prosperous sovereign country in which Baloch could retain their identity and live in accordance with their traditions, establish relations through treaties of friendship with neighboring states of Pakistan, Iran, and Afghanistan, as well as with India and the outside world. Like any democratic country, soon after its independence, elections were held to Diwan, the Balochistan's bicameral legislature, as a period of tranquility and peace was ensured in the country. The assembly held sessions in September and December 1947 and favored alliance and rejected accession to Pakistan. Orthodox Bezinjo, who was then a staunch supporter of independence, made a landmark speech. Then it is still considered as a valid argument for independence of Balochistan. He said, "We have a distinct civilization and a separate culture like that of Iran and Afghanistan. We are Muslims, but it is not necessary that by the virtue of being Muslims, we should lose our freedom and merge with others. If the mere fact that we are Muslim requires us to join Pakistan, then Afghanistan and Iran, both Muslim countries, should also amalgamate with Pakistan. We were never part of India before the British rule. Pakistan's unpleasant and loathsome desire that our national homeland, Balochistan, should merge with it is impossible to consider. We are ready to have friendship with a country on the basis of sovereign equality, but no means ready to merge with Pakistan. We can survive without Pakistan, but the question is what Pakistan would do without us," said Mr. Bezinjo. Mir Bezinjo added, "I do not propose to create hurdles for the newly created Pakistan in the matters of defense and external communications, but we want an honorable relation, not a humiliating one. If Pakistan wants to treat us as a sovereign people, we are ready to extend the hand of friendship and cooperation."
For those involved and able to benefit from the CPEC initiative, it evokes hopes and a myriad of interests which they defend and implement at all costs. Furthermore, due to its enormous dimension, it will spur significant geopolitical shifts. Praised as a new economic lifeline, the CPEC is an essential link between the Belt and Road. In order to provide this connection, the CPEC should connect Kashgar in China's western landlocked province of Xinjiang with Quadra port in Balochistan. Regarding China's motives behind its Belt and Road Initiative, in general, and CPEC in particular, Beijing is usually referring to following 5 key interests. The improvement of infrastructure connectivity, which means roads, railways, ports, pipelines, etc., policy connections, people-to-people connectivity, security connectivity, and investment as well as financial connectivity. However, it is important to note that China has some key conditions for Pakistan to implement the CPEC. First and foremost, Pakistan needs to establish a stable security environment. Second, it must ensure national harmony and consensus. Third, it must achieve timely implementation of the CPEC project. In other words, the faster the better. And thus the mantra will be the easiest first. Having this condition in mind, CPEC faces serious challenges due to increasing negative impacts on the region, especially on Balochistan. This includes security, economic, ecological, social, and political related aspects, besides general problems of CPEC development regarding center-region relations in Pakistan. First of all, CPEC runs through disputed territory and subsequently it lacks legal cover.
It is very unfortunate that Balochistan is not discussed on the level it should be discussed, and the people of Balochistan continue to suffer as the international community ignore their sufferings. Whenever the Baloch people raised voice for their basic political, cultural, and economical rights, the state of Pakistan tried to brutally crush their democratic struggle. The Baloch people have always used political and peaceful means of struggle to attain their basic rights and to sustain their identity as a nation, but the state responded with brutal measures like military operation, enforced disappearances, torture, extrajudicial killing, and arbitrary detentions. The current situation in Balochistan, especially regarding human rights, is getting worse day by day. The Pakistani forces continue to use extreme force against political activists and civilians in order to carry on with its policy of looting the land and resources of Balochistan while denying its people their basic human rights. Population of many areas of Balochistan are under continuous siege and attack by the Pakistan Army, which is using gunship helicopters and ground troops to force the locals to migrate from their homes so that Pakistan can exploit the natural resources with the help of local and foreign companies, especially the Chinese. The role of China has recently increased after the agreements and work on so-called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. The Pakistani government and the military claim to develop Balochistan and work for the prosperity of the people, but all they have been doing is to convert the Baloch people into minority through use of force and occupying their land. The Pakistani military has a history of committing crimes against humanity. The genocide of Bengali people in 1970s, where 3 million Bengalis were massacred and 300,000 women and children were raped by the Pakistani army, is a black chapter in the history of the world. The same army is now trying to repeat the same in Balochistan. More than 500 Baloch women and children recently have been abducted by the Pakistani military during operations in Dera Bugti, Awaran, Bolan, Kolu and other parts of Balochistan. The cases of enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings continue to grow, while the international community, foreign media and human rights groups turn a blind eye toward these atrocities.
I would like to make 2 considerations that are in direct relation with our present political situation in the world. The first is that, as we all know, the 25th of September, there will be a referendum for independence in not in Balochistan, but in Kurdistan. And of course that I'm not, the parallel between Kurdistan and Balochistan is what it is. For instance, contrarily to Balochistan, Kurdistan had not an independent was not an independent country that was occupied like it happened in Balochistan, for instance. Of course, other differences exist, but the main issue is of a nationality, a big nationality, that for several reasons was dispossessed of its rights, and now is calling the right to decide its own future and to have the respect of the international community.